All right, quick demo here of some Charis features. All right, so we're logged into Charis, and uh, these are some of the menu features that you get for a regular account, and then these are extra features that are available to administrate the system, so you can do remote admin. It's worth saying that Charis is not open source, so it's just a research project of mine I've been playing around with while I'm looking for jobs here. Um, Got to keep busy. Um, yeah, so this suggestion is so there's some features from like different projects that are kind of included. So uh, I've got suggestions, kind of like uh, for you sort of stuff where you can get content suggestions based on your interests, and then following for people that I follow. I have personal content included in the following feed. I'm thinking of removing that. It looks a little cluttery, actually. Um, AI is just what you think it is here, kind of like ChatGPT or something you enter in a query, except this Charis does a bunch of stuff. It's sort of like Claude Desktop in a way, and that it has visualizations, but then um, sort of like Claude Code CLI, and that you can run it on a remote machine. Um, anyway, so it has an HTML interface. So I guess it's more akin to like ChatGPT, where it runs remote. Anyway, you can do a lot of really cool stuff. Let's let's grab a so built in here. There's a lot of different features that are built in. You can see here different capabilities. These are an example of all the sort of tools that you can that are available to the AI, not necessarily the individual, but it's relevant to include because as an individual running, a user running stuff on here, it sort of gives you an idea of like things you can ask for if you understand what its capabilities are. So all these, if you think about it, an AI is just a brain, and the AI tools provide the AI features that enable the brain to do stuff. So a brain isn't very useful if you don't have legs, you can't walk around, and the brain is more useful if you add arms, so you can pick stuff up, and that's kind of like, I guess, sort of a way of thinking about these tools. And as you can see, there's a number of tools, probably too many tools because I was sort of figuring out really what I wanted to do, have Charis do, and it started out as kind of like a coding thing. And I've decided to sort of get away from that because a lot of people are doing it. And I actually thought I had some pretty good results in doing some specialized coding stuff, even though I'm just like one guy here. But um, point is AIs are getting pretty good now, and you can really do some sophisticated projects. But in any case, you can see I can do Bible searches, I can do charts, play chess, I can do some code stuff. I can do create latex documents for, say, scientific papers. Um, Diagrams, there's like, I think 32 different chart types available. So pretty much it can chart a lot of different things. It can generate images and video. It uses Git for, so it has like a built-in wiki, which is called the Knowledge Vault, and the content is versioned. So sports versioning, which is kind of nice. Different capabilities to show images, digestion features, map creation. So I have integration with mapping, but I don't know if I have the API turned on. But there's different types of maps that are available. There's integration for Nmap, so you can do Nmap scanning and then sort of consume the analysis and do some, analyze it. There's the National Vulnerability Database, which I've sort of slurped up, and I have a local National Vulnerability Database that sort of keeps in sync with the government's database. Um, if you look at their website, you can get an API key and stuff, and it's all free. You can download it, and so there's many years of vulnerability database history there, so you can do some offline analysis, which is kind of cool. And so you combine NVD data with like charting, and you can do some really neat stuff. It also can sort of analyze its skills and do its own sort of self-improvement based on user interaction. It can develop papers, like newspapers, that you can view, and you can schedule. It has tasking, so you can schedule tasks to run at a certain time, kind of like a cron job, except and you can run executables, but in this case, it's probably more relevant is the ability to take a prompt and schedule it to run at a certain time. And so, like in my case, I have some of these reporting tasks that generate like a security intelligence report, and you can select that to run at a certain time in the morning, so that when you come in, your security intelligence report is fresh for the day and ready to go. Static analysis. This is sort of work in progress. It can speak content. So like, if you have some different PDFs that are sort of loaded, ingested into your wiki, you can have it speak the content for you. You can tell that if now in here you can set those tasks up yourself for analysis, or you can tell the AI to set tasks up for you and schedule them and all that kind of stuff. So you don't have to necessarily know all of Charis features. You just sort of tell it what you want to do. Vault gardening and vault compliance and all this sort of stuff is sort of controls for the vault, which is the wiki feature. So there's certain compliance rules for how the AI needs to develop pages, like how much content it can have on a single page and sections, and different rules like for refreshing the pages. So usually it takes like the bottom portion of the pages that are kind of out of date and refreshes those a little bit each day, so that it's kind of cool actually. So you'll notice every once in a while, like the pages look a little different than when you last came in here. It's just sort of keeping it up to date and improving it a little bit on its own, doing a few web queries, getting new news that might have dropped and including that as well. So it's sort of lives on its own. Different vault features here, so you can ask the AI to help you manage the vault. So like if you want to delete any pages after a certain date, you just tell it that. It'll go out there and snag them all and get rid of them. Basic tools like web fetch, so you can kind of like curl, you can download content, and then different skills that help to set guidelines for the API for the AI as to how to converge on goals. And here you can see the different features. So these are the two features related to the timeline. You got the AI, you got the knowledge vault, and you can see in here there's pagination. So I've got like 7 pages of content. It's telling me there's a couple of deprecated items. You can search for items as well. So you can see here there's a few matches. So we have moray in a few different places. Here you don't notice any highlight in the title, but if you click, you notice that it's mentioned here in the text. I sort of don't like this blue. I think it's a little too low contrast because it sort of blends in with this electroluminescent blue sort of like I have here. But you can see it keeps track of references and all that. And we can get rid of this here. But you can see there's tips, so it can, little basic telling you how you can construct a query. We have graphing capability, so you can see here. This is like a real mess. So the idea was that you'd be able to see all these relationships between documents, but you can see that. You can see some lines in here going back and forth between the documents, and you can select different documents, but as you can see, it's like really dense and not very useful. So I would like to figure out a different way to do this thing with, like, little bubbles, and have the little bubbles like reorganize themselves like a mind map or something, but that's going to take that would take some focus for sure. So I'm not quite there yet. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty darn cool. And if you want to create a new wiki page, or a new knowledge vault page, you can just ask the AI, create a new knowledge vault page on I don't know, top 10 NVD vulns since 2020. Okay, so yeah, it'll create us a knowledge vault entry for the top 10 vulns based on government vulnerability data. So let's see how it works. So we can see here it's acknowledging, sort of citing back to us what we said, and it's done an NVD search, so it's done a lookup in the local database. Expand things a little here. A couple of NVD searches, another reasoner call. So there's actually a bunch of stuff going on. It's checking Project Zero. I'm not sure what that's all about. So I have another database too, but it is in addition to NVD, which is the Google's Project Zero. But I don't really I don't have that turned up, so I'm not sure why it made a Project Zero tool call. But see, this is kind of the cool thing about being able to show in the activity log, which is the AI's reasoning path. If you can understand the reasoning path, you can sort of see how an idea forms in the AI and how it takes it through different web searches and web fetches and all that to produce some output. Okay, highest CVEs from ND Mira since 2020. Top 10 NVD vaults. Okay, I guess that is that's what we asked for, but I made a mistake in the way I asked. I was really looking for like the top 10 categories, like XSS or that sort of thing, but I didn't ask correctly. But let's take a look and see what it created. So top 10 NVD vulns. Okay, see here we have the recents. We're sorting by recents, and so you can see the page that it just created. So yeah, it's kind of cool. You get a lot of details here that you can, use to help you keep your documentation straight. And there's a lot of different ways that you can adjust content and create pages. So I can tell it to create an OWASP page and then give it a URL. And it can ingest from a lot of different sources too. So like, so if you have like PDF documents, text documents, MD documents, various types. I don't think it supports like Microsoft Word though. But anyway, you can take those docs and you can drag and drop them like right into the message area here. It'll show up like a little attachment, or you can just like click your paperclip and it will ingest those into the vault. And depending on the document type, like if it's a PDF file, for example, um, then the ingestion process, it's clusterable, so you can have several different, like I have Olama running with an embedding model, and I have one Olama server running on my laptop here, and then I have a gaming machine with like a beefy sized GPU and stuff, and I have Olama running on there with the same embedding model. And so this thing can basically process the PDF, whether it's a text type or if it's an image type, it can use the embedding model for like OCR sort of stuff and change it into text, and then use that to sort of populate or update wikis. And here you can see it's like writing a vault page for us. I'll fix that. Okay. So let's see if it's, oh yeah, there we go. And it's in the vault. So now we have like an OWASP page that describes the organization in the vault. And it's really like as simple as that. And so the cool thing is, like, if you are a business, or, you know, even if you're an individual, you know, you can take all these documents and munge them into your vault and, you know, establish relationships between the content. Now, eventually I'll get that graph thing working better, so they can be visualized. But yeah, you know, it's like, I've been spending a lot of time sort of creating this thing here, but, you know, it's like, I don't know. I think these are like kind of exciting features, and you know, there's other people, of course. You know, Wikipedia, they're like, you know, fascinating wiki and lots of capabilities, and this thing is just an experiment. But anyway, I'm having fun with it. And it's got some cool capabilities, which is kind of nice. So, you know, you can do some security scanning and then consume those results too and throw them in the wiki, or, you know, it can create files too. Yeah, so that's my chess game. So I played a game of chess with Charis, and these are the turns in chess notation. So just to show you. So if you're like waiting for a security scan to complete, you can play a game with Charis. It took a long time to think about that. Oh, well, I guess I do have like a quad job running here, so it's a little bit of a load on my machine. Yeah, that kind of shows you how it works, and I have it print the last like 5 moves before it prints the move that it chooses, so you can kind of see what it's thinking. So you see those red flashing dotted lines, and then the green one where it selects the move. Anyway, and you can save the log of the chess match and the turn-by-turn log. Anyway, it's kind of cool. If you like chess, I guess. Yeah, essentially the chess game sort of operates within an AI turn, a single turn. So this is kind of how the structure works. Architecturally, everything is a turn. Like you ask it a question, and then it returns a response, and then that's like one turn. And so you can see here it sort of classifies all the activity by turn. And of course, the AI in the servicing of a turn, you know, in servicing your prompt, it may need to make various tool calls, and so that you have the record of all the tool calls here. And if you open up something like web fetch, we can see what it actually gathered. So here it looked at OWASP projects, and then like downloaded all this data from the projects page on the OWASP site. And this thing is kind of work in progress, which is cool. A little extra memory, which is sort of like a private document within the vault, and you can search on it and all that sort of stuff. But the AI can also query the vault in the process of trying to move towards a goal, solving your prompt, and it can check its memories here, and these memories are sort of carry it extra sessions. So if you had stuff that happened in a previous session, it's supposed to archive some of those things here and then be able to find them. So kind of like stringing your sessions together into one long session, at least giving you some memory between the sessions. But I would say it's not quite working the best because it's obviously not logging as much stuff as it should, but it's kind of a new feature and I'm still working with it. I think a better way to do that would be like a vector database, but anyway, this is just kind of a little cheesy solution. And also low cost. Schedules. This is like a schedule for today's, for curated news. So I have a prompt in here which provides all the different news categories that I want. I have a security intelligence daily brief, which provides, which sort of details all the different sections and things that I want to see in a report. Let's see if we can run this now. Let's see. Producers here. Last time I checked, it had a little bit of a bug. It didn't really write the full report. It sort of had just the beginning part of the report. But anyway, these things are normally scheduled and they run automatically. In my case, I have them run at like 7 a.m. This one runs at 6, but so I just have them run early morning before I actually log onto the computer. So that way, when I get on, I just kind of see everything in my. So they're set up so that when they complete their run, they generate, something in your inbox there. So let's just go see what it is. Give it a minute here to sort of process. But yeah, I guess we'll take a look at some of these other tools while it's doing that. So yeah, history. Okay, schedules. So this is for the newspaper sort of things, and this is for the vault. So there's some different scheduling things here to keep the vault content refreshed, and to gather any new content, refresh the old content, and also compliance. This is like the history of everything. So you can see here, oh, it looks like it generated the Intel brief, which is interesting. It didn't give us a notification, but let's take a look and see what we can see. Okay, that's kind of strange. Let's go over here. Oh, but yeah, same thing. So it's showing us the report. It didn't notify us, and it's only showing us the first half of the report. There's usually some other things down here that kind of look like news articles and stuff. Anyway, it's kind of cool. Another little bug. Always the problem with demos. But you can see here, like number 1 is sort of, oh, there we go. We did get our notification. Number 1 here is Patch Tuesday. So this is kind of in the user confidence operation space. And then 8, where's that? 6. I guess it's 6. Olama bleeding llama. Okay, I guess that's sort of a user confidence hit there. And then this is a little bit towards, sort of on the border between yeah. So anyway, they're all kind of clustered around here. But yeah, sorry, it's not. I'm not sure what happened there. Let's see, bookmarks. So you can, if you've got a post here that you're interested in, you can, you can bookmark it. You can see it in your bookmarks. Profile, yeah, it's there, but it's not really looking the greatest. Accounts, so you can see the accounts. You can lock, typical admin stuff, lock and reset a password, remove an account. You can see which users are active, only myself right now. Permissions, so these are the AI skills that are the AI, the AI skills and tools that are available to each sort of role category. So for users, this is what's available. Admins have everything. Scheduled tasks have certain tools that they're authorized to use, and then services have another. The tasks sort of run as scheduled, either like once or at different intervals or that sort of thing, and services run all the time. This is like the Vault editorial policy that you can change. So what are all the different rules for editorial? And then this is for knowledge ingestion. This is for rules for the timeline. So before posts can land on the timeline, there's a brief period where a worker AI, sort of a lower level AI, will do some analysis on the post to ensure that it conforms to whatever policies you have in here. It does sort of make some interesting mistakes occasionally. Like it might think you've got some vulgarity when you don't. So not, so I'm kind of coming at the problem from the other side of what we typically see for censorship, and trying to implement some content management too. And one of the things that's kind of hard, one of the things that's tantalizing about the AI is the idea that it can sort of vet the content for you, but they can make some mistakes too, and there's a lot of trade-offs. You can use an AI that's not quite as fast, and but is very easy, lower priced, or low. Maybe you have an AI that's lower priced and kind of fast, and there might be some desire to use that, but it could be inaccurate sometimes versus one that's a lot smarter, like say a Grok 4.5, but might take a little longer. So anyway, there's a lot of trade-offs. Services, so you can look at the different services and see their status. You can also ask about give me a status on the Charis service status, and it will tell you. Okay, so yeah, there we go. So you can kind of see some different stuff here. It's number of NVD records updated and stuff. Some of these services don't have a lot of status in them. When you see degraded, it's usually because there's multiple, like in the case of audio here, like I can use 11 labs to read a page, or I can use VoiceBox locally. And anyway, so there's some cool features here. So like we can read our OWASP page. Take it a minute to, well, not a minute, but take a few seconds to sort of process. And then it'll give us a summary of the page. It's not exactly the same as the page. It's a summary made more for reading.
OWASP started back in 2001 as a small effort to tackle web application risks and grew into the world's largest nonprofit dedicated to software security, completely vendor-neutral, so nothing they produce pushes any company's tools. Their vision of no more insecure software drives everything, from the famous Top 10 list that first appeared in 2003 and now serves as the standard reference for the most critical web risks, updated with fresh data and community input every few years. That list alone gets treated like a compliance baseline by auditors. Yet the group also maintains a huge library of practical resources, like the Application Security Verification, standard for building requirements, and the Web Security Testing Guide that professionals actually follow during assessments. What stands out is how hands-on they get with tools such as Zap, an open-source scanner used everywhere, or Juice Shop, the deliberately broken modern app designed for training and capture the flag events so developers can safely practice finding flaws. Over 100 active projects sit under their umbrella, including supply chain standards like Cyclone DX and maturity models that help organizations track real progress, all kept free under open licenses. They also run more than 250 local chapters that host meetups globally, plus major conferences, including a big 25th anniversary event planned for Vienna, and anyone can join the Slack or GitHub without paying a cent. The whole operation stays radically transparent with published policies and a code of conduct that emphasizes integrity and worldwide participation, which explains why so many people contribute to keeping software safer in an era of constant threats.
Okay, so there you go. You saw the stop button sort of disappear, so until it's done processing. And there's different voices available from 11 Labs. You can choose any of those voices. It does a lot of stuff with speech. The speech tools, in addition to just being a push button here, which is kind of handy, you can also have it, you can, the speech is available to the AI, so you can have it, you can improvise and have it do different things. So you can have it speak the system diagnostics summary. And it'll know what it knows. It just gave us the system diagnostics, so now it will think about how to speak those results to us.
Charis is online, up about 2 hours. Models, audio, and maps are degraded. Provider keys paused. NVD is fully current, 0 records behind. Image, text, vision, vault, and inbox are green. Project Zero sync is off. 1 unread message.
Okay, and the unread message is the job that security intelligence brief here that finished up. Okay, yeah, and it's still only giving us a partial report. That's life in development. You always got bugs you need to fix, right? But I've seen this report 100 times, so I'm not sure it should be working. So any sort of reports or anything that you have, they can generate alerts and pop them in your inbox here, so they're just ready to see next time you come on. If you're admin, you have a little extra panel, so you sort of can get the system status, which is basically these services, but you sort of get a visual. You get some information on the size of your context. So you can see we've got about 28% use. And the amount of available context and tokens, of course, depends on the models that you're using. And so here you can see my choice of models. These are admin features as far as being able to choose the models. So for tier 1 tasks, the most complex task for planning, I have Grok 4.5. Reasoner, I'm using it too. And then for worker, so rudimentary tasks, I'm using Grok 4.3. And for distillation, I found that I did start out using 4.3, but then the distillation tasks are like ingestion of PDFs and sort of specialized content into the wiki. So those ingestion tasks take a little bit smarter model, you get better results. Anyway, these are all the things that you learn as you go along, so it's kind of cool. And then here's the schedule of upcoming stuff. So you can see, like, for tomorrow, the 18th, I have curated news that's sort of getting ready to run the intelligence, and some of them all tasks again. And then these are a bunch of my old sessions. You can delete those sessions or not. It's up to you. You can create it. You can hit the button, log into a different account, log off of this one, increase the size of the text so that it's better, whatever you're trying to do. You can also, in addition to being able to speak the text or different documents meta, you can click the dictate and then say something and have it print out the words. And that sort of depends on what model you're using. So the speech to text right now is provided by it's open speech to text, XAI. So depending on which models you're using for different systems, for image processing and all that sort of, controls the capabilities of what the AI can do. More APIs you have enabled, more stuff it can do. Let's see. So let's see something kind of interesting. So let's do the top 10 vulnerabilities by types per year. I'm just going to paste this in. Top 10 vulnerability types by year since 2016 across the categories like XSS and injection. A vertical stack bar where each layer of the stack is a type. So let's see what that looks like. Distance and bug fixing on the charts too. They were sort of getting clipped. So hopefully that bug fix works. Famous last words. But see here, we're kind of getting fast access to all this NVD data since it's cached locally. But remember, like, this is the information that's reported to NVD, which might not be the same as a company's vulnerability. So if if you think about Oracle, for example, Oracle has CPUs where they publish their vulnerability information. And so I don't necessarily know that NVD data is, say, in sync with Oracle CPUs, right? They're kind of like two different things. Or maybe they do sync them. I have no idea, but I sort of consider them separate until I know for a fact they are, I guess. Oh yeah, interesting. So it does look like it sort of clipped. Did some clipping here. You can see it looks like the colors, the very edge of the colors are where the labels should be, but if we increase this, oh yeah, that's strange. Like making it smaller, now we can see some of the labels. Yeah, this is kind of. Oh, I think I got this fixed, but I haven't recompiled it before I did this demo here. So, but anyway, you can sort of see you can see what's going on here. The nature of the bug is a little bit of clipping there, but you can see the different. This is right from the government database here. Top 10 by year. Unfortunately, yeah, it should print the year across the bottom. Is there really this many every single year too? Like, this is like a real lot. Like, I don't know. I think all this would have to be like, you'd have to really kind of check this stuff out. But it could be, yeah. I think some of this would need to be checked out. But yeah, so we got some clipping going on here. but there's always some room for improvement. I would say it's definitely cool. So I have like D3 charts built in here, so I think it supports like 32 different chart types. It also has UML charting, so you can do some code analysis and print UML diagrams. Yeah, you can see here, actually the info looks probably correct. Like XSS is like on the top, injection is number 2, right? That certainly seems like it's got the right sort of priority of the vulnerability types. Some sort of deserialization, yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's kind of cool. And so you could, when you get these images done too, you can do a lot of stuff with them. You can hit the copy button and then paste it into your report if you were doing a report. Yeah, it's all there. And to create a brand new session, you can just come up here and click new. I probably should put that button just so you don't have to drill into the menu to get it. Or you can also just do /clear, kind of like Claude Code CLI. You just clear and it clears the context, and you can sort of see here, like on the server, context is 0 now. So you can kind of control your context. And then with the memory feature, at least in the future, it's a little shaky now, but it'll give you some context between sessions. And I guess that's kind of what Claude does with Memory MD, right? Sort of gives you some context, low-cost context between the sessions. But yeah, this is great. This is a good tool. Like if, you can munge this content and process it and search on it. You have your own little content store, sort of one that you control. Nobody can cancel it on you, or, you build your own library and you control the rules. Which is kind of nice. And there's other things that I've been thinking of doing here too. So I've done some work on TLS analysis with Deep Violet, and I was thinking, hey, it'd be kind of cool to sort of wire TLS analysis into this thing as a AI tool. That way the AI can do TLS analysis of different servers on the net, and then sort of give you back reports or add those results to the knowledge vault so you could search on it. It already has Nmap built in, so I can do like, I don't know how interesting it would be, but do an interesting Nmap scan of see what it's got. See the Nmap command that's running here. See, I don't need to run Nmap. I think I don't run it enough to know all the incantations on the command line, so it's kind of handy to have it wired in here. But yeah, let's discover the host that I'm on here. And now it's doing some host discovery. Okay, yeah, so that'll probably take it a minute to go over my devices. I got quite a few devices on my home network here. We're sort of a high-tech family, so everybody's got a laptop, everybody's got iPhones, we've all got, other devices, tablets and TVs with internet stacks, Apple TVs, and media room with, internet here and there for streaming sounds, printers, all kinds of stuff. So there is no privacy, essentially. We're all just victims of who wants their information, I guess. a number of Apache project vulnerabilities by project, which was kind of cool. So a lot of different activity there going on. So that produced like some interesting graphs. And of course, there's a lot of different graph types and stuff. So if you're pretty good at charting and stuff, you can sort of come up with some cool prompts and sort of get some interesting results. Get some attractive visualizations for your reports. But yeah, the knowledge vault thing is kind of cool because if you do some security scanning and you get some interesting results, you can just sort of have it drop a wiki page automatically, and then you can give somebody a link to the knowledge vault, and then they could just see what's in the vault. And so it's kind of useful. It sort of eliminates a step of like having to do an extra report, and then of course everything that's in the vault you can search on. But again, I don't have a lot of content in there at the moment because I'm just on my laptop here. But if I had this on a real server, Amazon, and had some S3 bucket space, you could probably just I'm not a real Amazon expert, but you could probably just boost those S3 bucket sizes like on the fly. Just manage all kinds of content. I'm like a DigitalOcean guy. I've sort of played with their services over the years. Yeah, I think last time I ran NNAP here, it did take a little while for it too. Probably it's just like ripping through a lot of empty space. And I do have that Claude job going in the background here too, so that could be weighting things down a little bit. Let's just look at some other stuff while that's going, I guess. Let's generate like a news item here. So schedules. Let's just create news. Just run that right now. So that will create. We run the task for the curated news. So it'll show you what like a newspaper looks like. So it sort of creates your curated news to look like a newspaper. But again, you can change the prompt to be anything you want. At the moment, I sort of have some wiring for the newspaper as well as the security intelligence briefing, so that sort of it blends the best of both worlds, the non-deterministic sort of capabilities of the AI, but then the determinism of creating a page the same way, the same way every time. So the page, so the actual producing of the page is sort of deterministic. And that's sort of worked out good, but I think it could be improved a little in that I've basically, done a little bit of hard coding for both of the reports. And I think we can sort of hard code that, but hard code it in such a way that you can create, one sort of service for briefings or one sort of task for briefings, and then just sort of, spin off a new one each time for each type of briefing you want. Whether it's like a newspaper sort of printout or intelligence brief. So there's the news. So you can see the news brief here, just today's date, Canadian wildfires. We're seeing something about Washington about this. So that's legit. Texas Hill Country. It's White House declassification, electric election strikes, it's all kinds of stuff. Financing Wall Street. So I have several. Again, you can choose whatever categories you want to build your article. News page. I also threw Blizzard Gaming in there because I'm trying to track status of Classic Plus. So it's sort of like World of Warcraft and StarCraft 2 around here. They're oldies but goodies. Anxiously awaiting to see what Blizzard's going to be out with for Classic Plus. So I have some special stuff related to Blizzard Gaming and Classic Plus. But the idea is to have general sort of services that prepare these things, and then you just sort of choose what sort of content you want to fall into it. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer you can't see the bigger security. Yeah. Let's see if this is a nice story on here. Yeah, it's like fun, lots of stuff. Let's take a look at the data. Well, it's running here, so I don't know. Oh, 6 hosts are up. That's interesting. Seems like we should have more than 6 hosts, but maybe that's because of the kind of scan. Again, I'm not sure. I'm not an app expert, so I don't know what these command line options are telling it. But yeah, as you can see, there's different types of integrations here, and we could just have a bash shell sort of task like Claude. It's just that I try to stay away from that bash shell, general bash shell, because it's just such a Swiss Army knife. Like, it's impossible to get rid of it. So instead, I've sort of favored creating special commands because it seems a little easier to constrain than just giving the AI like bash shell support. But now, I think for Claude Code CLI, it's probably totally appropriate because it's doing like code creation and static analysis and all that, and it really needs to have access to tools like sed and different command line tools to do what it needs. So yes, it's risky. On the other hand, it's a constrained risk, just sort of limited to your desktop. So I think that makes sense. Whereas here, the approach I'm kind of going for, just to sort of box that risk. And the other thing, by having it discrete sort of commands, like I do here, like for nmap and stuff, you can like go into the permissions and you can like uncheck and check what you want. So I wouldn't say it's really great security. On the other hand, there's some security because you can control who has access to the tool. Not so much what can be done once the tool is active. I've considered other things too, like if I was really going to get into coding and doing stuff like that, then I might tend to Dockerize the user experience. So like when you create a new user in Charis, it creates a Docker container in the background, and then all the different AI commands run within the container. So you get some real security. Another thing I've sort of considered playing around with is having JVM X-Ray. Since this is Java, this AI harness and all these tools are mostly not nmap, but most of the tools are Java based, and so you could use my other project, JVM X-Ray, to monitor what's happening in Charis. So that could be kind of cool. So you could use like one Charis to like monitor another one, another one that's maybe servicing users or something. But the idea of integrating X-Ray and Charis is kind of cool because X-Ray does all the observability with what's happening with Java code. And Charis, of course, provides the, you know, the ability, the brain to sort of analyze that output from the, the raw events that are fired from a JVM, like opening a file or execing something in the shell. So it's kind of a cool way to see what's going on inside the JVM. So in addition to like a Dockerized setup, maybe using eBPF on the outside to sort of monitor security position or set enforced policy, you can have JVM X-ray sort of monitoring Charis itself as the AI goes through its reasoning pathway, which is kind of powerful. All right, here comes a map scan. As you can tell, I'm not really breaking any speed records here with the Nmap scanning, so I'm not sure why so taking so long. I'm sure Nmap experts can tell me do this Nmap command is too long to say you should never be running this. Service scope scan, hit the 10-minute cap, return the service detection. So you still get the same image down. Yeah, so I guess I'm sort of toned down. Oh boy. Maybe we won't hang out for this. Well, just give it a minute, I guess. It's already been 10 minutes, right? I was thinking also of, so I've been doing some work with the Zap team with Deep Violet, and I thought Zap had like a MCP. Anyway, I was thinking, it might be kind of cool to have Zap plugged in here too, and that way Charis could do like a Zap scan of an application. That might be kind of interesting. But yeah, it's just it's just amazing because each tool that you add just really extends the entire capability of what the AI can do. Like a simple little thing like adding speech, text to speech, can be used in so many useful ways with all the other capabilities that it can do. So like you can have it read a text page, or you can just have it summarize your diagnostics, or almost anything. It's just it's crazy cool. And of course I have quite a few different tools on that, which really adds to the power. And unfortunately, I've been sort of really focusing on building the thing and not so much using it. And so there's probably so many different clever ways that it could be used. That would be fun to explore too. I think I'm just gonna stop this thing and call it quits here, because I know it's been a long time for the demo here. But if you made it this long, if you made it through with me this long, that's great. I appreciate you hanging out, and you're a diehard person that wants to understand Charis. But anyway, yeah, this video was just for folks that might be interested in their own AI harnesses, and a little bit about what I've been working on with Charis.